Hi, welcome to positivepanicattacks.com. My name's Tim Russell. Just going to show you a very brief presentation about what is a panic attack. Now, sometimes it is difficult to know what a panic attack is, especially if you start having them and you've never had them before. Sometimes you think, maybe I've got this wrong with me, that wrong with me, and you don't even realise you're suffering from panic attacks and anxiety. So watch the presentation and enjoy. Thank you very much. Well, a panic attack can be sometimes difficult to identify at first, especially if you've never had a panic attack. So most people would think, well, you'd know if you're having one or not, but if you've never had one before, you could end up in A&E or at your doctor's, which is probably where most people end up. So it's not as straightforward as it seems. I'm just going to run you through exactly what are the symptoms of a panic attack. So they can take three forms. Number one is there'll be intense fear, almost as if someone is holding a gun to your head and you've got about 10 seconds to live. So it really is extreme fear, and it's very, very frightening. And many people say that they fear having another one. And when, of course, that happens, they will have another one, and that often is referred to as panic disorder. The panic attacks happen very quickly, and there is usually some sort of internal or external fear. So what I mean by that is, if there's an internal fear, it's because your thoughts are saying, oh my god, my heart's going to stop this time because it's beating very fast, or it's palpitating. Another internal fear could be, my legs are wobbly, so this time I'm going to collapse, or my mind is racing, this time I'm going to go crazy. So that's what I mean by an internal fear. An external fear is, I've got to go to the shops and I'm scared about going. What happens if I have a panic attack? Then invariably you will have a panic attack. So that's an external fear. Another one could be, I've got to go and meet my friend 20 miles down the road, and it involves driving down a motorway. Invariably when you get on the motorway, you'll start having a panic attack. So external fears can be all sorts of things: social situations, heights, crossing bridges, million and one things that can trigger panic attacks. Right, the third form it can take is the panic symptoms, and these usually come in waves, with the initial wave being very intense, as in number one, but then you'll get another wave of panic and another wave of panic, and they can sometimes be very strong and don't really die down. Although the initial panic rush will be very strong, the others may slightly dampen down, but there's always that wave of fear that keeps coming over you. So it can go on for some time, although the initial wave might only last about 10-15 seconds. And these don't usually stop until you've reached your safe place. Now, safe places can be your home or someone you're going to meet. As soon as you meet them, you start to calm down. It could be just sitting down if you think you're going to collapse. So it can be sort of several safe places, if you like. Normally, anxiety will always accompany the panic attack. So it's not as if when the panic attack stops, you're just going to feel great. You're not. You're going to have anxiety. And more often than not, you're going to feel drained, exhausted after the panic attack, hot flushes, lots of different physical symptoms. So what actually brings on a panic attack? Well, this is very important. It's normally either a stressful period, so by this I mean you're going through exams, or your boss is giving you too much work, or maybe there's been the death of a loved one. So some sort of prolonged stress that has caused you kind of to tip over the edge and to go into panic attacks. The second one is not looking after yourself. By this I mean you're eating too much sugary foods, not enough nutritional food, you're skipping meals, you're not having breakfast, you're abusing alcohol, you're smoking too much, you're perhaps taking drugs, certainly too much tea and caffeine, coffee can bring on panic attacks. So those are the kind of things that can trigger a panic attack, and it can lead to the cycle of panic where you're having anxious thoughts and panic attacks every day, and these are always triggered by negative thoughts. So it's your thoughts which are actually bringing it on, and the one exception to this is perhaps if you're not eating well enough, because if you're not skipping meals, drinking too much coffee, that will trigger it in itself. But normally what keeps the cycle of panic alive is negative thoughts, thinking, oh my god, I don't want another panic attack, what happens if I meet someone and I have a panic attack in front of them? All them kind of things will keep the cycle of fear and panic alive. Many people say their passion for life is gone once they start having panic attacks. So they no longer love the things they used to do. So going to the shops, going to the theatre, the cinema, meeting friends, playing sport, all becomes like this dreadful thing that they have to do. Negative thoughts. So as I've said before, the cycle of fear brings about these negative thoughts, and these can be things like, I'm going to go crazy in certain situations, or I may have a brain tumour because my head feels like it's going to explode, or I've got heart problems, or I've got cancer, or I've got some other deadly disease like multiple sclerosis because I keep shaking. So there's all these things, negative thoughts going through your head that can trigger these panic. So panic attacks can take two forms, and they're basically the out of the blue panic attack, which is where nothing perhaps has triggered it, but you just sat watching TV, or you're doing something that normally you'd relax at, but suddenly you have a panic attack. These can be a bit more baffling, but it's generally caused by again, you're not looking after yourself by eating the right things, and you're skipping meals, and you're perhaps drinking too much, and the other thing that can cause the out of the blue panic attacks is just your body is sensitized. It is extremely anxious, and at any time, for no apparent reason, your body can just go into panic mode simply because it's so tense and nervous. The other one tends to be, you know that you can have a panic attack in certain situations, so this is called anticipatory anxiety, and this is normally going back to perhaps you've been invited to the cinema or go shopping, or you need to drive somewhere, and you know you're not looking forward to it and you're dreading it, and as soon as that event actually happens, you will have a panic attack. So there is light at the end of the tunnel, I can assure you. It's not a serious mental issue, it's just a bad habit. That's all it is. You've conditioned your body to have panic attacks, and it's just a habit, and habits can be unlearned. So there is definitely hope. It's not serious, it's not going to harm your body, it's not going to kill you. It's just a period of your life where you've got into a really bad habit, and you can come out of this. Also, there's still a stigma to mental illness, so many people still keep the problem all to themselves. They don't confide in anyone, and this often leads to them delaying in seeking professional help. Not even their nearest and dearest or work colleagues or friends know that they've got this, so they really do keep it to themselves, and it kind of turns into their big secret, if you like. And many times, even if they do confide into people, they don't really understand how ill they feel and how scared they can feel in certain situations. And many people say just pull yourself together, but that obviously doesn't work. So you really do need the tools and techniques to overcome this. And lots of people just give up hope altogether, and they confine themselves in their house or just doing basic things to survive. They'll grit their teeth and go to work and just come home and sit in front of the TV. And this is all often referred to as agoraphobia. So that's my little guide to what is panic attacks. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. The tools and techniques I talk about are all at positivepanicattacks.com. So please go there, and if you'd like more videos like this, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much for listening. Bye bye.